every story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is a story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Good evening and welcome to CoreTV News Primetime News. I am Omotayo Alo. In our major story, President Muhammad Buhari gave an assurance Tuesday in Abuja that his administration will honor all international trade agreements that will directly improve the living conditions of Nigerians. Also in this program, the Federal High Court in Abuja has granted bail to the former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido, and Sons on self-recognition after several days in prison. Few days after street beggars in Kaduna State threatened a protest over a recent ban order, Governor Nasir El-Rufai has visited them at the Rehabilitation Center. And from outside Nigeria, world powers reached a deal with Iran that will limit the country's nuclear program in exchange for eased economic sanctions and in more than a decade of tempestuous negotiations. And now to a story in full. President Muhammad Buhari gave an assurance Tuesday in Abuja that his administration will honor all international trade agreements that will directly improve the living conditions of Nigerians. Speaking at an audience with the outgoing ambassador of Turkey to Nigeria, Mustafa Pulat, President Buhari said that under his leadership, the federal government will give special attention to the implementation of such agreement, especially in the provision of infrastructure, good education, and job opportunities. Commending the ambassador's efforts to expand areas of bilateral cooperation between Nigeria and Turkey, President Buhari applauded the growth of trade between both countries in recent years. The president also praised the outgoing ambassador's positive impact on education in Nigeria as reflected in the increased number of Turkish schools and universities in Nigeria. Pulat told the president that during his 2.5 years in Abuja, he focused on ensuring better cultural, educational and trade relations between Nigeria and Turkey. The United States government has delivered one of its strongest rebuke of Boko Haram in recent times. It says the brutality and barbarism of the group know no bounds in view of the recent attacks by the insurgents on the countries in the West African region. The U.S. also condemned recent suicide bombings in Chad, Cameroon, Niger and Nigeria. In a recent statement on Tuesday by the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria, the U.S. Department of State spokesman John Kirby stated that the U.S. strongly condemned the horrific and indiscriminate suicide attacks on the Grand Marché in the Chadian capital of N'Djamena on Saturday, as well as attacks in Cameroon, Niger and Nigeria. The U.S. government, however, praised the security forces of the three countries for their timely responses to the attacks. President Muhammad Buhari on Tuesday held a meeting with more permanent secretaries in continuation of his interaction with the new administrative heads of ministries. The series of meetings are targeted at getting more information on the state of affairs in government establishment. The permanent secretaries gave an insight into their session with the president in an interview with State House correspondents. The federal government has declared Friday, July 17 and Monday, July 20, 2015 as public holidays to mark the end of Ramadan, known as Eid al-Fitr. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Interior, Abubakar Magaji, who made the declaration on Tuesday in Abuja, enjoined all Muslim faithful and Nigerians in general to extend the spiritual benefit of Ramadan, which include love, peace and sacrifice for the development of the nation. He also urged Nigerians to support the administration of President Muhammad Buhari in its determination and sustained efforts towards building a peaceful, united and virile nation. Magaji further urged all Nigerians both at home and abroad to use the occasion to pray for peace and unity across the country. Senate President Bukola Saraki has moved to douse the controversy generated by his tweet on the confirmation of newly appointed service chiefs. He had, in response to inquiries on the Senate confirmation, erroneously noted that only ministers and heads of parastatals are required to be confirmed by senators. But the Senate President has now denied, saying that the Senate does not need to screen or confirm the new service chiefs. It said through his Chief Press Secretary, Sani Onogu, that he was only responding to inquiries on whether the Senate was consulted before the appointment was announced. Saraki's media aide claimed in a statement that his principal had, in response, tweeted that the appointment of service chiefs is the exclusive function of the President as stipulated by the Constitution. He added that the comment has now been misinterpreted to say the Senate will need a screen to confirm the new service chiefs. The CPS also drew attention to a new tweet by the Senate President where he indicated that the earlier position was not up to date and does not represent the position of the Senate President on the issue of the screening of the newly appointed service chiefs. He pointed out that the Senate will confirm its constitutional duty when it receives communication from the President on the appointments. A federal high court in Abuja has granted bail to the former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido, on self-recognition after several days in prison. It also granted bail to his two sons, Aminu and Mustafa, in the sum of 25 million naira each before setting September 28 trial date. In his ruling, Justice Gabriel Kolawole held that the prosecution counsel Chile Okoroma did not provide enough reasons that the accused persons will evade justice if granted bail. Defense counsel Joe Agi had, for his part, insisted that his client wouldn't jump bail.
We are satisfied with the conditions granted. Well, we wait for the trial in Kano. We are prepared to face the prosecution whenever they are ready. They are stringent, but we are going to meet them because we have a civil servant here, we have people with properties here, ready and willing to take them on bail.
The National Broadcasting Commission has jammed Radio Biafra so as to stop those behind the station from further broadcasting. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information, Sade Yemieson, disclosed this in Abuja shortly after she had briefed President Muhammad Buhari on the state of the ministry. Speaking on the current development, she said the signals from Radio Biafra have been jammed successfully by the NBC. Sade further said that the Commission is also working with security agencies to get those behind the formation of Radio Biafra because it is an illegal radio, adding that it is not licensed by anybody to be on the radio airwaves in Nigeria. The Permanent Secretary said the President expressed concerns about piracy in Nollywood and gave instruction to the ministry to work harder to ensure that the producers of Nollywood films get what was due to them and that piracy is reduced to the barest minimum. We take a break now and we'll be back with more stories on CoreTV News at this hour. Stay tuned.
Lapcon have naked, that's a sign of protest, saying that things are not good.
women share the most amazing thoughts
When it's close to the time, our people will protest
on national issues.
That was on their own point.
That was an accident. That is different.
And they do it
Politics is about being a servant.
passionately,
Without a woman, there will be no success at all.
sharing the adorable word of women
There are some women who have what it takes.
in politics.
Margaret Thatcher, Iron Lady. When she's too soft, she's too soft.
Only on CoreTV News.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and nudity.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to her husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Because some people will stand for Yoruba land, will be strong man, you don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
If you're just joining us as CoreTV News Primetime News, and here's a recap of our major stories. President Muhammad Buhari gave an assurance Tuesday in Abuja that his administration will honor all international trade agreements that would directly improve the living conditions of Nigerians. Also in this program, the Federal High Court in Abuja has granted bail to the former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido, and sons on self-recognition after several days in prison. Also, a few days after street beggars in Kaduna State threatened a protest over a recent ban order, Governor Nasir El-Rufai has visited them at a rehabilitation center. Also, for more news and information, do well to visit our social media platform, facebook.com/CoreTV News. You could follow us and also tweet at us at our Twitter handle at CoreTV News NJ. Also, you could stream us live and get more news and details on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoreTV, TV Space and News. Governor Okazie Ikpeazu of Abia State has banned the washing of cars on tarred roads. The governor said detergent used by car washers have damaging effect of coal tars. Ikpeazu announced the ban on Monday while inspecting road projects in Aba and Umaya, said his administration would roll out new policies on the maintenance of public facilities in the state. He expressed sadness over the activities of car washers on roads and called on resident and barber maintenance culture that would help safeguard public facilities in the state. Meanwhile, Ikpeazu has given contractors a 50 days ultimatum to complete road projects, while assuring residents of the state that at least 80% of the job will be completed before his first 100 days in office. In all, 21 road projects have been awarded in different parts of the state. Few days after, street beggars in Kaduna State threatened a protest over a recent ban order, Governor Nasir El-Rufai has visited them at the rehabilitation center. He urged them to be ready to be engaged in productive activities instead of begging on the street. But first, they promised to rehabilitate the rehabilitation center himself.
It's not just to say people are off the streets, but to train those that need to help themselves and to give them financial support, microcredit, to start some kind of small business so that they will be on their own. We don't want to see beggars on the street of Kaduna, but we don't want to have beggars off the streets without an option. So we are working on the option. The initial knee-jerk strategy was to repatriate the beggars back to their home states. I have put a stop to that. Everyone that comes to Kaduna is a citizen of this state. We should take care of him here. Sending them back to their states is not solving the problem. We will solve the problem here in Kaduna. We'll overriding need to secure the lives and properties of the 8 million people that live in Kaduna State is superior to that of those that think they have the right to beg. Begging is not a profession. Begging is humiliation. We don't believe in it. We want to empower our people so that they don't beg.
Stopping begging is not best idea. The government says our children are used in times of famine, which is not true. Where and how do they meet with the insurgents? It is just a way of tarnishing the image of us. Our children are not capable of doing such thing. More than 100 deaf and dumb persons in the protest in Benin City are calling on the state government, stakeholders and well-meaning personalities to stop the marginalization in the areas of employment and empowerment. The aggrieved persons in a peaceful protest to the Secretariat of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, appeals for more teachers and learning materials that will make them useful citizens in the state. Edo State correspondent filed in this report. The aggrieved persons with disability, flanked by few friends and parents holding placards of various inscriptions, lamented their worsening situation. Following the sack of Edo Yes workers, however, called on Governor Adams Oshiomhole to intervene as they cannot hide in silence. An interpreter, Godwin Aye Cynthia, however, assisted to communicate their growls.
They have tried to break out of the silence, to cry out and also to lay their complaint, so that members of the general public will be aware that they are here with the NUJ press secretariat because they know that the pen is more powerful than the sword, that they want to appeal to you to please use your pen to carry out their complaint to the general public and the governor and to all concerned to please employ them and also empower them.
Meanwhile, the state NUJ chairman, Desmond Agbabama, assured them that their complaints will get to the appropriate quarters, while he appealed that they should go about their peaceful protests.
And that we are very passionate about it. And our heart is very heavy over their state. And that as the mouthpiece of the voiceless, the NUJ will carry their message to the appropriate quarter through radio, television. As they have come here, NUJ is voice for the voiceless.
The group later left the NUJ Council Secretariat to Government House Benin to further press home their demands. Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode on Tuesday paid an unscheduled visit to the Ikotun-Ejibu Road, assuring the resident that work on the road will commence within the next 1 week. Governor Ambode, who described the state of the road as unacceptable, assured residents who trooped out to hear from him that the road will get a facelift very soon. He said the road was too strategic as it serves as a major link road connecting several local governments, hence it could not be left out of the state, which it was. The governor therefore directed the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Works, Paul Bamigboye Martins, and the general manager, Lagos State Public Works Corporation, Ayotunde Shodende, to move immediately to the area to commence work within the next 48 hours. He also appealed to residents for understanding when the construction commences, saying that the State Public Works will be mobilized to provide palliative measure to ease the traffic gridlock often experienced by motorists plying the road on a daily basis due to the condition of the road. Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode on Tuesday also urged residents to desist from indiscriminate felling of trees, just as he reiterated this administration's commitment to preservation of the environment and mitigation of global warming via tree planting. The governor, who spoke at the flag-off of the 2015 tree planting exercise, the 8th in the series with the Technical College Ikotun, said this year's theme, Tree, the Lungs of the Earth, it was clearly underscored the importance attached to the exercise in sustaining human life through the purification of the air we breathe in. It said the tree planting exercise remains the cheapest and simplest option and strategies that have put in place to tackle the challenge of climate change and its effect on human lives, adding the statistics and projections about the impact of climate change on the Earth planet, particularly the gradual depletion of the rainforest, reinforces the need for all hands to be on deck. The governor thereby enjoined all Lagosians to embrace tree planting as a way of life in order to restore the dignity of the earth and desist from indiscriminate felling of trees, warning that for every tree that must be removed, at least 5 must be planted. Participants at the opening of a 3-day security workshop in Abuja are pushing for a stronger interagency cooperation to better tackle the security challenges in the country. They insist that a multiple-pronged mechanism will achieve the required level of peace and security, especially in northeastern Nigeria. The workshop on crisis management and peace building held in Abuja is organized by the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps in conjunction with United Nations Development Programme (UNDP). Our correspondent, Basia, has more in this report and presented from our studios.
This is the third edition of a collaboration that started in 2013. It is aimed at improving interagency collaboration among security agencies, humanitarian workers and other stakeholders. Operatives at the session agree on the need for a robust framework to counter the rising trend of terrorism in the country.
It is also hoped that the deliberations at this conference will bring a lasting change to institutional cultures that inhibit prompt attainment of the broader objectives of our national security. Furthermore, I am convinced that the outcome of the conference will inject fresh perspectives and strengthen the capacity of security agencies and other relevant stakeholders to collaborate seamlessly in the management of crises and other security issues and dynamics.
Interagency cooperation and collaboration has become very necessary to overcome the challenges and threats to internal security in the country, as no agency can claim to be able to do it all.
Others maintain that the necessary building blocks for peace must be encouraged to thrive as well as focus on post-conflict management.
We should focus on synergy in a post-conflict scenario, such as we are beginning to face in the Northeast. Because what we find out is that we have seen that there is a lot to be done in the way we are engaging the Northeast in the aftermath of the Boko Haram crisis.
Organizers of the forum are optimistic that the gains of the workshop will include a positive end to insurgency soon.
A clearer understanding is taking place. That is why we have all come together to discuss the way out. And I believe it is not going to be a pure academic event. All of us are going to brainstorm together on how better to handle the situation in the country. And before the end of this year, surely we are going to see positive changes in the insurgency activities in this country.
With the enormous task of curbing insurgency and terrorism in the country, participants are of the view that intelligence building and timely application of such information is central to achieving lasting peace and safety. Basia, CoreTV News, Abuja.
The police in Kano have paraded members of a notorious gang which has been terrorizing Gandu, Albasa and Tukumantawa areas of the state. Police spokesman Musa Magajia told newsmen that they were arrested over the murder of a 27-year-old student of the Federal College of Education in Kano. The police said the suspects identified as members of the Yandaba gang have since confessed to the crime.
A gang of notorious endeavors jointly from Gandung Albasa, Rang Agundi and Tukunta Katas areas suddenly invaded into the classroom and attacked them with cutlasses, knives, gloves, and other dangerous weapons. Command commences investigation, which led to the arrest of 3 suspects who actively participated in the killing and rampage as follows. Number 1 is Ibrahim Azu alias Irodawa of Dagaguntu Kwatas. The second suspect was Adamu Abdullahi alias Kura of Tukuntawa Kwatas. And the third was Muktari Hassan alias Gwari, mayor of Gandang Albasa Kwatas.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arraigned Oladimeji Edun, a former member of Kwara State House of Assembly, alongside his company Zarab Ventures Limited before Justice Mahmood Abdul Ghaffar of the Kwara State High Court in Ilorin on a 3-count charge bordering on criminal diversions of funds. Edun allegedly secured the contract for his company, Zarab Ventures Limited, for drilling of 43 motorized boreholes across different locations in the state under the Millennium Development Goals project to the tune of 82,500,000 naira between 2008 and 2009, but abandoned the project after collecting 90% of the contract sum. The accused pleaded not guilty to the charge when it was read to him. His counsel Salam Jawando thereafter urged the court to admit the accused person to bail. EFCC Abdullahi Farouk raised no objection but pushed for stiff bail conditions considering the nature of the offense committed by the accused person. Justice Abdul Ghaffar admitted the accused person to bail in the sum of 5 million naira and 2 sureties, one of whom must be a statutory owner of a parcel of land within Ilori Township. The case has been adjourned to October 6, 2015 for hearing. As part of efforts geared at ensuring maximum security in Imo State, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps State Command has apprehended fleet vandals. The Deputy Governor, Eze Madumeri, who acted promptly on behalf of Governor Roches Okorocha, visited the command on hearing the development. Receiving the Deputy Governor, the Commandant Pedro Awili Ideba introduced him to heads of the command. While speaking on the various achievements of the command, Ajibade Ofeso has more. Well, we'll bring you details of that on our subsequent bulletins. Also, we have, as Nigerians joins the world to celebrate the 2015 World Population Day, accurate and verifiable census have been identified as the required ingredients to win in the fight against Boko Haram. The Lagos Commissioner for National Population Commission, Bimbola Salaudeen, made this assertion at an event commemorating the World Population Day in Lagos. Abiola Oduwole has details in this report.
11th of July every year is set aside as the World Population Day by the international community with the intent of bringing global focus to population issues. With an estimated over 160 million inhabitants, coupled with the rising attacks of Boko Haram insurgents, figures of vulnerable people in Nigeria increase on a daily basis. It is in this view that Lagos National Population Commission organizes this event to commemorate the 2015 World Population Day with the theme, Vulnerable Populations in Emergency.
Vulnerable population in Nigeria. This year's theme is very unique, since it portrays one of the most current population challenges resulting from large-scale population movements in emergency situations in Nigeria. In the last 5 years, Nigeria has experienced various dimensions of challenges, from communal clashes, natural disasters, conflicts, and most importantly, violence related to the insurgency by Boko Haram armed groups in the northeast, with women and children majorly challenged.
Salu Undeyin also used the platform to seek adequate action from government in addressing the challenges of internally displaced people in the northeastern part of Nigeria.
Any concerted effort in support of the vulnerable population who are disadvantaged today is a good investment for the prosperity of present and future generations. It is a responsibility we owe this great nation.
For her part, the UNICEF representative Sharon Oladiji, the successes recorded in the fight against Boko Haram insurgents could be intensified through adequate civil registration.
Efficient civil and birth registration system ensures provisions of legal documents establishing individuals' identity, national identity, security issues, which are proofs for accessing basic services, including immunization, health care, school enrollment, and at the right age.
As the federal government continues to explore ways of putting an end to insurgency, one of the demands of Nigerians, according to observers, is renewed commitment to eradication of poverty and general development. Abiola Oluwole, CoreTV News, Lagos.
We take another break now, and when we come back, we'll be back with business, sport, and news from outside Nigeria. Stay tuned.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, trading looters that are in government today, not our poor people.
We'll bring to you divergent views.
You know my position about his level of competence or otherwise.
News making the headlines.
I didn't go to school so that people can intimidate me with their ideas, no.
Sometimes it gets confrontation.
If you become governor, you're going to bring back Okada.
Of course.
You will bring back the market women back on the streets.
Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
On Core Digest.
Stop making innuendos.
Every weekday, we'll bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has the right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.
Welcome back. You're still on to CoreTV Primetime News. And starting with business, the Naira hit another record low of 241 against the dollar at the parallel market on Monday as the Central Bank of Nigeria's restrictions on foreign exchange sale fueled unofficial trade in dollars. The ban on importers from accessing the Nigerian foreign exchange markets for the importation of 41 items had led to the volatility of the Naira-dollar exchange rate at the black market. Since June 23, when the new forex rule became operational, the Naira has fallen by 10.5% from 218 to 241 against the greenback. Meanwhile, the new forex rule had led to the huge demand at the parallel market, causing dealers to hold the dollar in anticipation of further fall in the Naira. However, CBN said it would not be focusing on the thinly traded parallel market when determining the exchange rate, adding that people prefer to use the unofficial market for undocumented transactions. World powers have reached a deal with Iran that will limit the country's nuclear program in exchange for eased economic sanctions and in more than a decade of tempestuous negotiations. After nearly 3 weeks of meetings, EU Foreign Affairs Chief Federica Morigina stood beside Iranian Foreign Minister Javad Zafari
It is a great
to announce
honor
the agreement, which will cut back Tehran's nuclear program and require oversight by the UN Nuclear Agency.
It is a great honor for us to announce that we have reached an agreement on the Iranian nuclear issue. With courage, political will, mutual respect and leadership, we delivered on what the world was hoping for, a shared commitment to peace and to join hands in order to make our world safer.
Because America negotiated from a position of strength and principle, we have stopped the spread of nuclear weapons in this region. Because of this deal, the international community will be able to verify that the Islamic Republic of Iran will not develop a nuclear weapon. And if Iran violates the deal, all these sanctions will snap back into place. So there's a very clear incentive for Iran to follow through. and there are very real consequences for a violation. That's the
U.S. President Barack Obama said Tuesday morning from Washington that the deal demonstrating America's diplomacy can bring about real and meaningful change, and says it offers an opportunity to move in a new direction.
We have stopped the spread of nuclear weapons in this region. Because of this deal, the international community will be able to verify that the Islamic Republic of Iran will not develop a nuclear weapon. And if Iran violates the deal, all these sanctions will snap back into place. So there's a very clear incentive for Iran to follow through, and there are very real consequences for a violation. That's the deal.
At least 27 pilgrims have died in a stampede on the banks of a holy river in the southern Indian state of Andhra Pradesh as the Hindu pilgrims gathered to take a dip into the Godavari River at the start of the Mahapukashurali festival in Ragadmundre district. The incident occurred when the first set of worshippers came out of the river after taking a dip and then got in the way of others who wanted to be in the water at an auspicious time. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister of Chandrababu Naidu, who bathed in the river at the festival on Tuesday morning, said in a series of tweets that he was monitoring the situation and urged people not to panic. The Holy Land of Makkah on Tuesday observed Laylatul Qadr, the Night of Majesty. Muslim faithful around the globe look out for this time in the last 10 days of Ramadan. The significance of this month is to ask for forgiveness from the Almighty and cleansing of the soul. Correspondent Olajide Adediran was at the Aram, the worship center of Makkah. His report.
The Holy Land of Makkah on Monday evening witnessed massive influx of people from all walks of life who have come to share from the glory of the last third night of Ramadan, Laylatul Qadr, the Night of Majesty. At the Kaaba, all creatures irrespective of status are reduced to commoners. They all move around the Kaaba in their white Ihram attire. At about 12 a.m. Tuesday morning, Al-Haram, the worship center of Makkah, was already full to the brim. The last third night of Ramadan is when Allah descends to the lowest heaven to echo the calls of all who believes and genuinely call on Him. It is called Laylatul Qadr, the Night of Majesty. Olajide Adediran, CoreTV News, Makkah, Saudi Arabia.
And in the world of entertainment, Showtime has released a new thriller, The Affair, for Season 2, reminding people that there are more than two sides to every story. Thus, the video reveals that in the upcoming installment, the story will be told separately from 4 different perspectives, revealing 4 distinct truths as Noah, who is Dominic West, is still facing a legal issue following another accusation, is apparently going to face a custody battle with Ellen Martineau. Allison Ruth Wilson can't get rid of the guilt about the cheating scandal, while Cole tries to get through it with alcohol, which could be bringing more troubles. The first season of the provocative drama told the story from 2 perspectives, Noah's and Allison's. To further confirm the expanding storytelling viewpoint, Showtime has released a poster showing Noah and Allison's former spouse in their silhouette as The Affair. Returns with 10 new episodes beginning in October on Showtime. Also, Mandat S. Pie's co-executive producer breaks the silence following numerous criticisms directed to ESPN for awarding Caitlyn Jenner the Arthur Ashe Courage Award at the CSSP. Regarding the selection process, to the point that Caitlyn was selected, Mara said It was the same as it had been in previous years. She made it clear that there were no such thing as finalists for the Ash Award. There are no finalists, the people that vote on it. That has never been the case, she said. While Aspers producers were busy explaining their decision to award Caitlin, the award recipient enjoyed her time replying some mails from people who want to know more about her and wrote in a blog post. In the post titled The Future Looks Bright, which was published on the Personal blog on July 13, she opened up that she had felt she's a transgender since early young age. And on to sport, Robin van Persie has ended his 3-year stay at Manchester United, moving to Turkey in a bid to guarantee first-team football ahead of next summer's European Championship. The veteran striker moves for a fee in the region of $6 million and will join former United teammate Nani in Istanbul as talks had hinged on a settlement agreement between Van Persie and United, negotiating a payoff for the final year of his $12 million a season contract. And he now becomes Fenerbahce's highest paid player. Van Persie will replace a fellow Dutchman, Duck Kuyt, at the Sakru Saracoglu Stadium and joins Nani, Simeon Kage, Joseph De Couza, Ferdinando and Sena Oxbrelika in moving to Fenerbahce as the Turkish Super League's impressive recruitment drive continues at pace. Manchester City has confirmed the signing of Raheem Sterling from Liverpool for a deal worth up to $49 million as the news brings to an end a long-running and highly public transfer saga, with the England international even threatening to join and strike before twice calling in sick to training in a bid to force a move away from the club, having told Brendan Rodgers of his desire to leave after 2 previous bids were rejected. The winger finally leaves Liverpool for the Etihad Stadium to become the most expensive English footballer of all time. City twice attempted to buy Sterling earlier this summer but saw both of their overtures snubbed before a third and final offer, totaling $44 million upfront plus a further $5 million in add-on. Was accepted at the weekend, and the 20-year-old now has his move and becomes City's record signing, eclipsing the $38.1 million deal that saw Sergio Aguero join the club in 2011, and the most expensive English footballer of all time. And that wraps it on CoreTV News Primetime News. Thank you so very much for watching. I remain Omotayo Alo. Have a good night rest.